Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Becca and today I thought I would share with you some of the things in romance and romantic relationships in books that drive me wild. As it's Valentine's Day, I thought now would be a perfect time to talk about romance. Now, I have discovered, as you all probably knew before me, that I really like romantic fantasy, so anything that's like really fantastical with an epic plot and also a killer romance is my kind of thing, which is why I'm mass trash. Last year, I also did read some new adult romance, and I've obviously read a lot of the really popular YA series that do focus on romance, so I thought I would share with you some of the plot devices and character profiles that I would just literally die for, and anytime they are used in a romantic relationship in a book, I am just like in my element. So I'm not sure if you're going to appreciate all of these because, you know, if you've been here a while, you may know that I eat up problematic romances and toxic relationships, and I realise that they're really bad, but I also really am addicted to them. But I have 5 things to share with you today, and let's just get into it. So one thing that I really appreciate in my romances is angst, and the angstier the better. So I want characters with really tragic pasts, and I want the on again off again dynamic of a relationship. They're just about to get together and they find out something like ridiculous, and then they break up, and then they say they're in love with each other, and then they say that they can't stand the sight of each other. I love that in books. I know that this is one of those that isn't the best, but I believe with problematic elements, as long as you realise that things are problematic, then you're good to go. You can enjoy them as much as you like. I really like this because when I read it is a sense of escapism. So I like fantasy because it's set in a different world. Nothing is reminiscent of real life. But I also really like dramatic, trashy romances because they're not all that realistic and they have that high level of drama. So it's a sense of escapism in a contemporary setting. Now, one book that I think did this really well was November 9 by Colleen Hoover. Essentially, the relationship in this book is a train wreck. They are not a good pairing. They're a problematic match. They're toxic to each other. But did I eat this book up like candy? Yes, I did. So next, I think I have one that we can all agree with, and that is the sassy, sarcastic, charismatic, sometimes bad boy with a lot of swagger. So these are the guys that are a little bit of a player. Everybody already loves them. They're like always sassy and sarcastic. They always have something to say. They're like flirting all the damn time, and I just absolutely adore them. And something that I noticed when I comprised my list of characters to recommend to you are like characters that fit this profile. They are all second book characters in a series with a female main character. So you have a female main character and her love interest, and then in the second book they bring in this character to add drama and like challenge the love interest for the heart of the main character. And the sad thing about this, and the bit that like really hurts, is that they rarely ever get the girl. They are just there for romantic drama, but to me they are definitely the superior characters, and I think that there's a few characters here that you guys all love as well. So for these kind of characters, we have Nikolai from Shadow and Bone and King of Scars, Adrian Ivashkov from the Vampire Academy and Bloodline series, Cole from the Wolves of Mercy Falls series by Maggie Stiefvater, Sam from the Rebel of the Sands trilogy, and Jace Wayland from City of Bones. So those are some characters that like were so sassy and sarcastic and just like had so much swagger that literally I would die for all of them. The next two are both character profiles and are both kind of similar with a key difference. So the first one is the brooding anti-hero. So these are guys that are not necessarily bad, but they have definitely done very bad things, and you could argue they have very good reasons. They tend to be very brooding, they're very dark, they're very intimidating, not necessarily to the love interest, but to just general people they encounter. They are an intimidating figure, quite notorious. These are probably some of my favourite character types in books, and examples of this are Lorcan in the Throne of Glass series. You knew he was coming, guys. Rhysand from the Akatar series, and more of an underrated one that like kind of fits this profile is Arcturus from the Bone season. And the next category, that is the one that is quite similar to the last one, is the charismatic villain. So the key difference between the two profiles is that one is actually a villain and one is redeemable and like does good things in the end. But these are kind of the same as the brooding anti-heroes, but they are actually bad. They tend to be bad for reasons, the way that they've grown up, the things that have shaped them, I turned them into this villain. Some of them are a little bit insane, and I wouldn't say that I'm romantically drawn to these characters, but I do see the pull of their charisma. And of course, guys, you knew this was coming. The perfect example of this is the Darkling from Shadow and Bone, because oh my god, that guy is hot. And not one that I'm super attracted to, because I prefer his brother, but I know a lot of you guys are really into him, and that is Maven from the Red Queen series. And then lastly, this is the trope, and I don't know if it has like an actual trope name, but this is like the one. This is the one that inspired this video, the one that I love, the one that's probably very problematic and a lot of you guys may not agree with, but I personally just adore it and it gets me every single time. And that is when a character emotionally tortures themselves for the good of the main character. So you know the kind that I'm talking about. They initiate the second book breakup because they don't think they're good enough for the main character. They stand on the sidelines and watch the main character live their best life, and they make out that they're this terrible villainous character to put the main character off them so that the main character is not tempted by them. That kind of shit drives me wild, and I absolutely love it because there's all the angst and the drama of the but he loves you kind of situation, and then there's also like the deep emotional despair I get because just that they're willing to sacrifice their own personal happiness for somebody else. So my examples of this are Henry Schoonmaker from the Look series by Anna Godberson, and of course here he is again, Rhysand from the Akatar series. And then lastly, one that does follow this framework but probably isn't done the best, although at the time this is probably the one that inspired me to actually really love this plot structure, Edward from Twilight, or more specifically New Moon. So that is everything for the romantic elements that really drive me crazy. Please let me know what elements of romantic relationships or romance books that drive you wild. But please also don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you want to. If you head to my description box, you'll find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, as well as a link to my Bookish body butter and candle website, the Instagram for that, and a 10% off discount code. But that's it from me today. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.